Never shall innocent blood be shed, yet the blood of the wicked shall flow like a river. The three shall spread their blackened wings and be the vengeful striking hammer of God. You people have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world. You will witness what happens here today, and you will tell of it later. All eyes to the front. You must watch, dear. It'll all be over soon.
Now you will receive us! We do not ask for your poor, or your hungry. We do not want your tired and sick.
It is your corrupt we claim.
It is your evil that will be sought by us.
With every breath, we shall hunt them down.
Each day, we will spill their blood till it rains down from the skies.
Do not kill, do not rape, do not steal. These are principles which every man of every faith can embrace.
These are not polite suggestions. These are codes of behavior. And those of you that ignore them will pay the dearest cost.
There are varying degrees of evil. We urge you lesser forms of filth, not to push the bounds and cross over into true corruption, into our domain.
For if you do, one day you will look behind you and you will see we three. And on that day, you will reap it.
And we will send you to whatever God you wish.
And shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand. May swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be.
In nomine Patri.
Et Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
How far are we gonna take this, Star?
The question is not how far. The question is, do you possess the Constitution? The depth of faith to go as far as is needed?
Good
Nice
evening.
evening.
So this morning, we didn't have a topic for tonight. And I figured, I don't know if Plutarch's leading it or Nick is, or if it's up to me. But I suggested something. And then, late this afternoon, yeah, okay, nobody had anything else. So I'm on the spot. Our topic tonight is feral women, reflective men. We're going to talk about current events. And as men, what are we going to do? We're going to reflect on them. What do you think, Nick?
Well, are we going to be reflective or are we going to demonstrate emotional intelligence?
I'm kind of low on emotional intelligence.
I'm low on how much I give a crap.
Oh, so you've been reflecting.
I do a lot of that, but we do a lot of that here in general. So,
Okay, well, let's start out with a history lesson. Since I'm the old timer here.
Go for it.
Do you guys remember the videos that were peddled in the late 90s, early 2000s called Girls Gone Wild?
Oh my gosh.
yes,
Yes, I know of them.
Okay, what were they about? I didn't ever buy one. But what were they what was the theme?
It's about usually this, from what I recall, is they're usually at some beach or resort or something, and they were taking their clothes off and doing really nasty stuff. They're
Pretty much.
doing the nasty. Yeah.
Show me your tits. I'll give you some beads. So they do that, and it was videotaped. The guy who was selling those videos got into major trouble, probably ended up in jail because a lot of those girls were underage. Girls gone wild. Girls are going to do what girls do. They're going to show their bodies. And, okay, that was a phenomenon. But what's been going on recently? Are girls showing their bodies in even more explicit, egregious ways on OnlyFans?
Yes.
So,
but Steve, OnlyFans is behind a paywall. It's totally different.
sure. As they
Well,
were
the
wild for free
question-
before, now they're wild and making money.
The question is not whether the clothes will come off in general. I know there's some percent that won't do it. Okay. Good for them, right? But the question is under what circumstances and for who and at what cost?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, Girls Gone Wild. Was that feral women?
Sure. I mean, feral wasn't wild. Sure.
Okay, well, feral means wild.
Right.
Feral is the opposite of domesticated. So, right now, in January, we have things going wild in Minneapolis.
Oh, again? What was that, like 5 years later?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
So,
that's fun.
I've been I've been trying to make sense of what's happening in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think a lot of people have. A lot of men have. Maybe women too. I don't think like a woman. So that's what I want to go through. I mean, I've seen a lot of these videos of what's been going on. And I've kind of absorbed it, drawn some conclusions and observations. And I'm sure most other men have. Like, well, men and women. What is actually going on? So that's
what to do about it? Don't move to Minnesota.
Well, yeah. But the same phenomena is going to happen at some level wherever you live.
Maybe.
Well,
On what
I think it's
scale?
useful. I think it's useful to watch these clips that I came up with and see if you've reached the same conclusions as I have.
We're reflecting on craziness, on
We're
women being wild.
commenting. We have been reflecting.
Okay.
So I sent Plutarch the links, and he's going to bring them up because he's got a better internet connection than I do.
Well, today it's getting hammered pretty hard, but work stuff. So we'll see how this goes. This is the first link you sent me. Is this the one you're looking for?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. And here we go.
Thing to do. We've got to stand up for our neighbors. We've got to stand up for our city. This is wrong. What's happening in this country is wrong, and it has to end.
I've lived in Minnesota my entire life, and what is happening now in this country is absolutely unacceptable. It is unacceptable that our government comes in and takes people off the streets, puts them into prisons in other countries where they've never been. All of this immigration policy is ridiculous. We're a country built on immigrants. We should be finding a way for them to have legal citizenship, period.
Coming here means a lot because it could be any of us. Any of us could be taken, black bagged, murdered as we saw with Renee Good. So coming out here, bringing community to this movement is super important.
You're not supposed to know. Yes.
This is the city that we know. This is the community that welcomes everybody with open arms. Any immigrant, any refugee that says, welcome. This is the Minnesota Nice that we know.
Minnesota Nice.
Scribe is how 4 million.
Is the government not simping enough for the poor, down and out immigrant that comes here and just loves America and wants to build a new life?
It is. They don't see it that way, though. So what did you observe so far?
Three older women and one androgynous thing.
And at the end, right before the commercial, there was a man in a kind of a fluorescent puffy coat who looked to be a little bit light in the loafers, who was being very emotional, taking off his bracelet and Oh, it's like he was praying or something. He was moved.
Well, they buy a certain narrative of what America is, which is based on half truths, then expect the rest of the world to get on to their latest truth, which would have been abominated by the people that founded this country. Then why doesn't everybody on board with our vision of this nation, which they've changed in the last 50 years to abominations, and in the last 10 years to something else even worse? Oh, we just want to come to this country for America. Meanwhile, what are they doing in their mosques in Dearborn, Michigan? These Somalis, they're blaring their whatever it's called at like 5 a.m. They do it 5. They're called a prayer
You know
500
what?
times a day. Yeah.
Dearborn, Michigan has been Muslim for many years.
Is it Michigan
I
or
haven't
Minnesota?
heard. No, Dearborn, Michigan.
Okay. It's great.
Yes, they have a lot of mosques. Yeah. Those people really okay. I live what 3, 4, 5, 400 miles from them. So I'm not getting here, but I haven't heard too many problems that have gone outside their community. I'm sure Dearborn is not the place it used to be, but I don't think it's as bad as the Somalis in Minnesota. Have you heard of any major corruption coming out of the Muslim community of Dearborn in Detroit?
Lately on the
I
media,
haven't.
no. I'm sure there's probably been something.
There's been some, but you know what they're talking about in Minnesota? The amount of fraud.
Yeah,
Okay,
Plutarch. What is that?
first they started talking about, well, like 900 to $1 billion. And then, but 2-3 weeks ago, someone says, oh, it could be up to 9 billion. Now the number, okay, the up to could be 18 billion.
What are we paying taxes for?
And do you know, now it's come out that there was $1 million in cash leaving the Minneapolis airport every day in cash, declared cash, going to Somalia.
For like 2 years straight, $700 million.
And they've done bust as this has opened up. They have done raids on facilities. They have uncovered hundreds, thousands of pounds of meth, fentanyl, and cocaine. The amount boggles the mind. And then it was a web. They were shipping it all through Minnesota to Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, the whole upper Midwest. This is so damn big. And the corruption all started in Minnesota. Well, maybe it didn't start there, but it's prevalent there, with millions of dollars going to fake daycares. The Quality Learning Center. They can't even spell the word learning.
We gotta protect these poor people. You know, it's the Christian thing to do to protect the down and out. They're the sojourner and the foreigner in our lands.
Yes, and all the Karens, the suburban Karens in Minnesota, are coming out and protesting. And the limp-wristed, simpy men. Do you see any masculine men out there?
No.
I haven't.
Oh,
I have
you
seen.
when you have retard for governor,
Well,
what do you expect?
what I have seen in terms of the male population out there is universally old. They're either old or simps, or these androgynous. They're either old or androgynous, one of the two. That's your choice.
Okay, so they're boomers, and so they've had the easy road on like the best economy in the United States history, the golden age of the economy. They lived it. They've had their best life. They've got their third house and their McMansion. They've got their boat, 401k. They're on Medicare or Medicaid, whatever it is. I can't even remember what it is after you turn certain age.
Medicare.
Your healthcare stuff. Medicare. Okay. They got all this crap. Oh, they worked so hard for this, but like their parents also gave them most of it.
Hey, Nick, I have to defend the boomers here. Do you know why all those boomer men? Okay, a third of the men there are probably boomer men. But do you know why they are there? It's just simple. The answer is simple. Their wife told them to be there.
Oh. And if they weren't there, they'd have to either put up with her nagging or withholding of sex.
Well,
she'll
she's
just leave.
already doing the latter.
Yeah.
Damage control.
They are only there because, okay, if I've watched a few of these boomer men that you're calling out are almost always there with their man. Because if they're a boomer divorced man or a boomer single man, I don't need to bother with that. No, they're always married to some Karen.
Oh. Poor sucker.
So
I don't know how
watch
these
the
guys
next one.
survive it. Steve, can you tell me how these guys survive it? Because I don't get it.
It's all they know.
That is depressing.
It's what they know. They are grasping onto a reality. Women good, egalitarianism. Oh, yes, I believe that men have oppressed women in the past. Oh, things are so much better now. Oh, yes, happy wife, happy life. And if they were to stand up for themselves, they could lose everything. So it's too scary. So better just accept the reality that you have. Go along to get along. It's sad.
Right. And then they're the ones that offer up the marriage counseling as if they're reflective men. Boys, I'm telling you, your happy wife's happy life. Boys, I'm telling you, the Bible says, gotta serve her well. You got to be a servant leader. That's what a real man does.
That's fine. Let them.
My friend's wives left them because, they didn't serve their women well enough.
It doesn't matter, Nick. It doesn't matter. Because how's that message being accepted by younger men?
Oh, we're more than us are waking up and walking away. Walking away.
Oh,
Say, F that.
you know
You're
what?
lying to me.
You
We
can't
see your
save
bull
them.
crap. You can't save them.
They're gonna do what boomers will do as boomers do.
Uh-huh. And they'll get that'll be the most attention they get from women the whole week. Oh, she might touch his arm, but still she won't fuck him when he gets home.
He's really hoping, Nick. So let's watch the next one. Let's see if my observations are true.
This is an all hands on deck process, and in Minnesota, we know how to protect one another, and I have been incredibly proud the way our neighbors have shown up for one another. It's been beautiful to see, and that kind of resistance is why ICE agents seem so angry and agitated, because they have never experienced the kind of love that we experience here in Minnesota. And we know that they are going to disappear one day, but we will be here caring for one another and carrying out policy with love here in Minnesota.
So once they take over an area and they impose Sharia law, all the love, all those people were showering upon the Muslims will return with the opposite. That's why I'm laughing. Like, all this love, we're protecting these people that hate America, hate Christians, hate our way of life. They want to conquer us. And when they conquer us, all that love that we gave them, they'll just laugh as they impose their law on us.
I can't help but reflect on the fact that she's a woman pretending to be a leader.
That too.
Are men listening to her, paying attention to her? Not in the least.
Hey, Steve, does anyone honestly think that the Muslim men are paying any attention to her?
I'm sure not. I'm sure they're not. Maybe people think they are, but no, the Muslim men are probably ignoring her too.
Well, what does Islam say about men and women and who has power over whom? Like, doesn't Islam have something to say on this topic?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, but I know it has a reputation of being very repressive towards women. Like requiring women to wear a head cover.
Depending on the country, how much of that head covering is a body bag? I mean, with eye slits.
Hey, well, a lot of Somali women wear black head covers and it tucks under the chin. It's just straight flat black. But Ilhan Omar has turned her head covering into an item of bling, a fashion. She's always wearing a different one, and she always has it wrapped fashionably. It's kind of a trademark of hers now. I don't think she wears it as a modesty item anymore.
The one thing you'll notice across cultures is depending on what is, permissible or impermissible. Say you can only show your hands. Well, what do they do with those hands that they can show? They make them look very decorative. They put a lot of time and effort to what their hands look like.
Well, in India, they use a lot of, they tattoo their hands. What is that?
Henna?
Yeah. Henna tattoos. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm just pointing out that they do adorn their hands.
Women are gonna women.
Still Isaiah 3, guys.
So let's move on to the next one.
This one's longer, Steve. Do you want me to start somewhere or just keep going?
No, I'm just getting a flavor of what's going on. Or no,
Okay.
Nothing in particular.
Let me know when you want to stop then.
Okay.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! We have a right to speak out against this brutality. Are we going to be intimidated? And we will continue to fight for justice for Renee. Ice out now! Ice out now! All right. Up on the streets, no justice, no peace. We want our rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back! And immigrant rights are under attack. On the streets, full street, on the streets, full street, on the streets, full needle. One more
Okay, so they're just marching down the street.
Okay.
Just doing their thing, rah, just kumbaya. We're making a difference.
They're carrying a lot of yellow signs that look professionally made. And they have the same yellow background and black ink, and they're all spelled correctly. Did these come from the same print shop? Did somebody pay for them?
Steve, on the yellow specifically, I'm glad you called that out. I can't remember if we showed the video. I know I watched it, and because we did a stream a couple months back. It's by a guy who his name's Mike Shelby. That's not his real name. He goes by Gray Zone Intel on Twitter.
Were you talking about a color revolution?
Yes, we are actually. And he posted.
That's where we were going. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he posted. He got video somehow of a conference call between a number of the NGOs funding these protests, and they decided to. They were negotiating between yellow and black, or yellow and purple as the main colors, and then there was like black, and then there's like, so there's always a main color, and the guy was advocating for purple and the girl was advocating for yellow, and it was very much an email job type setting. These were nice places, they're dressed well. You met them on the street, you'd think they're normal people, but they eventually did decide on yellow and black as the color for this particular color revolution in the United States. And that was a theme.
That was a theme discussion, right? Not specifically a discussion of what color to make signs.
Correct. Well, yellow is the color of that was determined after that meeting, and Mike posted about it. He said, yeah, they've decided on yellow and black. And look, here it is. There's the yellow. This is an organized protest it is completely inorganic. It is very well funded. And
okay.
Go ahead.
Now here's a way to test that. And I have not done this. I'm suggesting to others, if you really care, and if you wondering, is this organic? Are you seeing the exact same signs, same printing, same everything, same wording, same variation in Minneapolis and in other cities around the country? Which would mean this is not organic, it's not local, it's national, and someone is funding this. Are the protesters, did they get together a week ago and each throw in $10 to get professional signs made? Or did the signs just show up along with the sticks and the staple guns so they could put them together and go around and carry them?
Somebody put this together. I'm sorry. You, at this point, guys, just look at the video. Don't try and gaslight me into thinking that this was all done organically. It wasn't. No, you cannot change my mind on this.
I think there is an organic element in Minnesota, though. I'm not saying it's exclusively that.
No. There's fertile ground in Minnesota.
Yep.
It doesn't organically start there. I mean, yeah, okay, there's fertile ground. Yes, the women are maybe more feral, more liberal, more Scandinavian. These
are the same people that we had to deal with 5 years ago over the George Floyd.
Exactly the same people.
Kind of yes, kind of no.
Well, we had more
It was
Somalis now
mostly
than
black
before.
people, black women then. Now this movement is primarily white women.
Well, yeah, white women before.
Yeah, Steve. I think what's confusing here is that the white women were always there. I actually had I had a George Floyd protest go literally right past my house where I was living years ago, and it's part of the reason I decided to move out of there. It was all white women. There wasn't a black person to be found in that crowd. What they did for optics was they picked out the black people and they only gave them the airtime. So I would say be very, very careful just taking some of this stuff at face value. Just because the reality is George Floyd was, by attendance percentages, overwhelmingly white.
Yeah, okay, overwhelmingly white. And mixed gender. But were there many men who had jobs that were actually protesting?
No, it was.
You have to realize this was during the COVID summer, right?
Yeah, there actually was. These women brought their families out because, yeah, I'm thinking back now. So this is 5 years ago. Yeah, they brought their families out. I did see some kids in the march. The dads were definitely there, but they weren't as engaged with it. I think they were just there so that they could get pussy that evening.
Okay. Now, thinking back to historical riots in this country, back to late 1800s, even mid 1800s. What was it? The boys of New York during the Civil War time when they were conscripting the Irish who come over. Were there riots there? Yeah. Have there been riots like steel union or strikes of workmen because they weren't treated very well? Yeah. Well, where did the Pinkertons come out and kill a lot of people? Was that a steel strike?
I thought it was Chicago. Was Chicago a big steel town back then? I can't remember.
I don't think it was Chicago, but someplace. But, unionizing the steel plants and improving working conditions, and men coming out and rioting. Ooh, that upset a lot of people. Things got violent. Why did the men do that? Were they doing it on behalf of some other group of people? No. No, they weren't. They were doing it because I am working my ass off and my family is starving and we can barely afford fuel to keep it warm. I can't afford to feed my children. I am pissed off and going to riot and strike because of my family. My family, not somebody else's family. Am I doing this for virtue signaling? Hell no. I'm doing this for survival. And I'm fucking pissed. That's when men riot. That's when governments and people in industry, that's when people get nervous. It's serious. Is this serious now? Not really. It's just a whole bunch of women and poofs out chanting.
Bunch of Pharaoh women.
Oh, Farrell is right. My goodness.
Okay, I'm giving you my conclusions. I'm hoping for pushback here. I'm not going to get it from these two guys, though.
Oh, they think things are bad. Just wait. Like if we're like another country, if something happens to our power grid, and I'm not saying there's like it's all gone. I'm just saying like there's a few blackouts here and there, rolling brownouts, whatever you call it. Oh no, their whole lives come crumbling down. Are they going to keep acting like this? No. You know why? These women right now think that that they're secure, that nothing can happen to them, that society's just there to wipe their ass as women. And everybody's just going to bow down and worship their pussy.
Nick, I have
they're
I have a tweet for this, and let me see if I can dig it up. But I think I have something that can help us here.
Okay.
You can keep talking. My bookmarks have exploded.
Okay.
Because I've been also getting ready for my geopolitics stream. So let's see.
So they have this false understanding of security, and when reality hits them in the ass, they're not going to act this way anymore. They're going to act like the war brides did in Scripture. Oh, I need to get on some man who's going to take care of me.
Yeah,
I got to find my
okay.
safety.
I agree. But you got to understand, how do we get from here to there? First of all, women are so damn secure right now. In general, society is very secure. So they think they can take the risk of doing this. Okay. And that comes from security. The second thing is they think they can do this, and whatever happens, they're not accountable. Nothing bad can happen to them. It's not their fault. So, in order for things to change, first, the security has to go away, where each woman decides, I'm not going to do that. It's too dangerous. And, yeah, I'm accountable. Something could happen. Yeah, it's FAFO. Fuck around, find out. I don't think I want to fuck around with that, because I might find out and have to suffer consequences. So that's just an inkling of understanding of accountability, which women do not have yet.
Okay.
Find what you're looking for?
Yes, I did. And just in time, because Steve, you are getting so close to it. But you guys have heard me talk about Devin Erickson before, and he wrote just an absolute banger post on this. And he's talking about he has it's a new idea he's putting forward, one that I like. Here, let me share the screen here. All right, is that big enough for you guys?
We got a little larger. If you can, that's better.
Go. There we go. He put forward this theory that some humans are LLMs and not real people. LLMs being AIs. Okay, and the reason for that is AIs work in a word model. It's a statistical probability model of words. So being an LLM is not about having a world object model that's leftist and therefore wrong. A model that's wrong is still a model. I'm talking about humans who lack a consequential model at all, meaning that their world object model is so sparse that it rarely ever drives their behavior. And all that behavior is driven by the training data for their language model instead. They essentially are ChatGPT. If you really understand this concept, you will realize that you cannot prove that someone is a real person by listening to what they say. There isn't anything that a real person can say as a result of his world object model that you can't train a human LLM to say by conditioning it with the right data set. This is a just key point here. The only way you can discern the presence of a world object model is if you present someone with a situation that his training data didn't include. I do this to LLMs all the time, and it's hysterical to watch them just fall apart. Like, what do you do if your car is surrounded by armed men? Do your actions align to the situation you find yourself in and your reasoning about it? Or do they align to the ideological language manipulations you were programmed with? A real person will be able to construct a theory of mind for those officers and try to predict their behavior. That prediction could be wrong, but it would still be a prediction implying the existence of a model. An HLLM, I'm stealing that, however, does not behave based on models and predictions. It selects behavior which is aligned to the torrent of words which were used to train it to talk as if it were a person. But it's not a person in any meaningful sense of the word because its inner universe is no more sophisticated than a bird's or a dog's. So if it guns the motor on its 2-ton heavy vehicle and points it at an armed man with every appearance of the intent of crushing him into paste, then odds are that there is a lot less modeling of what this man will do about it than there is a desire to oppose the man because the television said the man is bad. That's HLLM behavior. Over-responsive to linguistic programming, under-responsive to models of truth. And then he goes on to talk about the story of what AI people do. This is something that I've talked about before. There's overfitting in these models. But yeah, it basically just works out to these people do not react to they don't react to external stimuli the same way a thinking human would. Somebody who has a world object model. Go ahead.
Maybe. Let me suggest this. If a man antagonizes another man, he innately knows he's in a dangerous situation and he could end up in a fight. He could suffer consequences.
Okay.
If a woman antagonizes a man, hey, you're not allowed to hit a woman. And a woman can always claim victimhood, call the police, and say bad man. There are never consequences towards the women. So why should a woman ever consider consequences for her behavior, for her antagonistic behavior.
So on this particular one, I bookmarked this under IQ because a man is more likely to have a world object model, but I have absolutely seen men get into fights where they honestly thought that there either wouldn't be a fight or that they were so sure that they were going to come out on top that why not start it, and then they get absolutely destroyed. In fact, there's lots of video of exactly this happening online, particularly when we're dealing with certain segments of the population. They'll pick fights, and then okay, I'll just say it. There was a video that went around a few months ago. A young black guy harassing a white guy, and the white guy, he's just trying to get away, and then the white guy just turns around and wallops this, and he goes down like somebody cut his strings. He was out like a light, right? That is a world object model failure. And this is an IQ problem. It goes back to high time, low time preferences, the ability to project current actions forward, right? And so that's really what you're dealing with here. These women who were in that car, they are not intelligent people. They are not sapient people. They were programmed to say and believe certain things.
Okay, I agree with that, with one exception.
What car are you talking about, by the way?
It was the Honda Pilot that she crushed the Ice Agent
Renee
with.
Good.
Oh, okay. The one
in the gas.
Let's make sure.
And moving,
making sure.
when the officer was standing at her window. That's just stupid. But okay, with what Plutarch said, yes, I agree, with one exception. The less intelligent men have had a lot of experience, well, some experience anyway, with life of doing that, and they may get punched. They may get their clock cleaned. On the playground, there was a hierarchy on the playground. If you mouth off, you might just have to pay for it. So a lot of lesser intelligent men learn, I should just keep my mouth shut from experience. Whereas experience does not come around to teach women that.
That's true. And honestly, I think this is where greater male variability in IQ comes from, is men have to deal with this sort of behavior that women really don't have to deal with because they're protected by and from that behavior.
And I guess that's kind of a conclusion I have drawn. These women have become feral because they have never been forced to be accountable for their decisions and be held to consequences for their behavior.
Okay, can I throw this out there? I'm just thinking out loud.
Absolutely. This is an open discussion. We're trying to reflect our way through this.
Have women ever had to have have we ever been in a position where men even had to and push this sort of consequence model on women? You see them, like all of human history has been about protecting women from consequence because seed is cheap, eggs are expensive, right? Go ahead, Nick.
Look, they jumped out of the airplane without a parachute. It may seem free for a moment, but gravity will win.
Well, hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay, you like cars. I like cars. What's the problem with going fast? What is it about speed? What is it about speed that kills you?
It's not the speed; it's the having to stop really fast when you hit a tree.
It's the sudden stop at the end.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's what these women are. In this case, literally, it's why I brought up cars, because this woman used a car and then she wasn't moving very fast, but she met a sudden stop at the end. Because that's what happened here.
Stop.
She did. I mean, that's the thing. And so
I like, feel bad for her. I'm like, A, no. B, abomination.
You know, you put forth a premise here, Plutarch, that men have always protected women to a certain extent. But let's turn back the clock 150 years ago, 100 years ago. Let's say you were living in just emigrated to the country, living in a mining town in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, or you just moved to Nebraska. You got 160 acres of land and no house.
Yep.
And winter is coming. Either way, and you had no money. You had a wife, you had a baby, you had to survive. Okay, so now the woman was forced to stay with the man because she abandoned him. She would starve or freeze. And the man was so focused on survival for himself and his family that he couldn't put up with any bullshit or strife from her. No, this is what we're doing. You're following me, or I will take physical action against you. And guess what? If you don't like it, nobody's going to come to save you. I think this was reality. Because the margin between life, survival, and death was so small that a man could not put up with insurrection. Yeah, certainly some men did, but in general, there were two things that kept women in line. She'd be really screwed if she left him. Where would she go? There was no social safety nets. And number two, he was so close to death for himself and his family. Remember, his mind was still on the family, that he was not going to put up with crap from her.
Hey, Steve, got a question for you.
Okay.
If women have had experienced that kind of consequence being laid out against them throughout history, why is it that women still appear to lack even a basic world object consequence model?
Their nature is what it is.
And that's why I was saying what I was saying earlier. I don't think world object models are innate to women. I think they can be taught how to do it.
Oh yeah.
But that is a slow, painful process, and the moment she feels something, it's going to override that. Okay?
So what's the solution?
The solution is what it has always been. You take away any sort of power from women whatsoever, give it all to the men. And are men the best? Are men the greatest? And no, we're not. But we're a hell of a lot better than what you've got on your screens in front of you right now. So, the answer, I think, in many ways, the wisdom of the ancients was, women are never going to be this thing. women are never going to be able to do it because their fundamental nature is such that it is not possible for them to do it in any sort of systemic way. Like, I can teach Elena how to do it, and she tries really hard, but the moment her emotions get up, it's gone. Just
did God know this, and did he somehow tell that to men?
It's in the creation order itself.
Oh, where is that, Nick?
Well, that's in Genesis 2. And then it was broken in Genesis 3 because Adam listened to his wife who was tempted by Satan, right? And then in Genesis 3:16, what does it say? I'll pull it up. All right. Okay, Genesis 3:16. Now pull up in the KJV. Oh man. All right. To the come on, pull it up. It's not liking me right now. There we go. Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. Oh, consequences. And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over the consequences. Even though she desires to rebel, their desire and shall be in the husband. Nevertheless, he shall rule over.
Shall. Wait, that's pretty strong. He doesn't say should. God doesn't say should. Or it'd probably be a good idea for the man to rule over you. You know, is it optional?
It's what optional?
For the man to rule over the woman, or is it necessary?
It's necessary and optional in a sense. I mean, he has the choice to do it, but it's never a good choice not to do
it. So if he doesn't do it because he has free will, there will be consequences.
Yes.
And I propose if he doesn't rule over her, she's going to become feral.
Absolutely.
And societally, men have not ruled over women for quite some time, a generation at least. And that's the evidence of feminism becoming more and more just ingrained in women. And women have become more and more feral over the last couple generations. In fact, they're so feral now that the young women, at least 10% of them, are on OnlyFans.
Well, it's actually Aaron Clary did a recent stats on that. He actually says it's actually on the low end 5% of between 18 and 34, 35. On the high end, probably about 6.5%.
Okay.
I got a quote. I'm gonna try to share my screen here for it. It's probably been passed around a lot this past week. I know it was among my friends this weekend at an undisclosed location. But here we go. Here we go. This is George Orwell. I gotta zoom it in. Zoom. Can y'all read it? I'll zoom it in more. Who wants to read it?
It was always the women, and above all, the young ones, who were the most bigoted adherents of the party, the swallowers of slogans, the amateur spies, and nosers out of unorthodoxy.
That's George Orwell from his book 1984.
That is a timeless truth.
What?
It's a timeless truth. Women are not to be given equality because this is what happens. They turn on everybody. They turn on themselves even. That's always funny to watch. Women turning on women. But
in the Bolshevik Revolution, did the women do this back in what 1918 in Russia?
I wouldn't know.
Were the women the most dangerous during the French Revolution, 1789?
They were pretty nasty in the French Revolution, but
1917, by the way.
1917.
1917. Okay.
I mean, the women are not always leading. They're not in front. But kind of my observation that the women show up in force when there is a revolution. They compose over 50% of the followers.
Well, in the case of this color revolution and the George Floyd one, 50% is a hysterically low number. This one, now again, this could be an optics thing. They're putting a lot of women in front of the cameras, but it also kind of makes sense. The men, the reason why it's old men is because the old men don't have to work. We are literally paying for a revolution through Social Security. Think about that for a second. Okay.
Well, hold on. We are paying for a revolution through social welfare, which includes Social Security.
Correct. I was just thinking about the old white guys that were paying to attend.
Yeah, okay, they're getting Social Security.
Yeah.
But how much government aid are the women getting who are out there protesting? SNAP benefits?
Yeah.
They're probably not even the women who are working in HR.
Well, so on this, we actually do know the younger women who are out there are primarily teachers, but actually, yes, HR. They will take days off for this, which is why the big protest days are Friday to Monday, because that we only have to take 2 days off.
That's true. But do you think a lot of the women out there, divorced women, receiving child support?
Yeah.
Alimony?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, yes. Sorry, that's social welfare. Because it's extracting money from someone else so they can live. The money just comes in and they have free time. And certainly some women can take off time from work. Most men do not choose to take time off from work to go to some lame-ass protest.
Unless their Haradan wives force them to. But that's why you don't see a lot of the younger guys out there. Most of them really do have to work. And they probably just told her, look, I got to work. We need the money. We need the paychecks.
And on top of this, am I going to go take time off to protest from some Somali dumbass who 89% of them are on some kind of government assistance, and they're competing for my jobs, and they're lowering the overall pay that I could get. And every time I've worked with one of them, oh my God, no, we have to get this done. No, I'm not taking time off. They can go, men in general. You know what? I'll help out my buddy He's a good guy and I care about him and he's on hard times. But I'm not going to go carry a banner from some guy across town that I don't know. He might be a good guy, but I don't give a shit. He's not my problem.
But I think this is fine with the people or organizing these things. I don't. Any white men who show up are there only for the optics of see white men. White men, you're kind like us too. That would be the only, and frankly, these protests, because of how they're funded, they need the white men to work. They need the men to work in general, because who else is going to pay taxes
to
fund this?
I have a solution. You know
Okay,
how
Nick.
Carnival Cruise Lines, right? I was looking this up over the weekend. Look, remember all those parties that Carnival Cruise Line had, and then they had to try to recater to their audience because a certain demographic was giving them issues and problems. Well, look, you can have state-funded cruises. They can have all the amenities. They'll have a supposedly round trip to Somalia.
And what, torpedo the cruise ship off the coast of Somalia?
They might do it themselves. Their own people might do that to them because they might be the captain now,
Yeah. I'm not as generous as you. But I'm all in favor of giving them a one-way, all expense paid trip to Somalia.
You didn't get it, did you? I'm telling them it's round trip.
I got it. I'm just more honest with you. I'm not going to deceive them. I'm just going to say, yes, you get all the steak and lobster you can eat on the one-way cruise.
No, you got to give them a taste of their own medicine, Steve.
Okay. Hey, Nick.
What?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are all the white men who are there with the women, especially the young white men, are they sneaky fuckers?
Probably. They're playing sneaky fucker game. If I just do this enough, you'll finally see the value in me. Finally, I'll get more than starfish sex. Finally,
there's a reason that we call sneaky fucker game beta game.
Oh, yeah.
Because it works. And it's, I'm not going to say it's easy to do for betas, but like as a strategy, you get to demonstrate I'm such a kind person. See, you should love me for who I am. And then, but it's also a game that requires a lot of numbers to work because most women won't go for it. But yeah, it's total beta game.
Yeah. Okay. It's time for us to watch some more video here. Okay, I have to figure out which one I want you to watch. Something about the baby. We got to watch that one.
I have the CNN video queued up. Do you want me to switch to something else?
No, that's fine. I think it's, I don't know, something with "Don't bring your babies to protests." That might be a good one.
Oh, okay.
Do people actually do that?
We'll find out, won't we?
Oh man.
This the one you want, Steve?
Yeah, this one will work.
Minneapolis, and today we're going to be talking about that, but from a little bit of a different angle, because I keep seeing reports of people bringing their babies / children to these protests and riots. And all I have to say to that is maybe don't do that. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Hey, skip forward about 30 seconds.
Yeah, you better. We're going to be talking about
maybe don't do that.
Yeah, just maybe.
Okay. How about this? If you do that, we shoot you into the sun. Okay?
The broader idea of doing this, because I so often see this happening, particularly on the left, but I won't count the right out of doing this on occasion. Now, I'm going to show you a video here. This is from Minneapolis, and this is a woman who's confronting ICE agents, and she lets them know that she has a 6-year-old in her car.
Hey, back up.
I'm far enough away. I'm not influencing anything.
Do you live on this street?
I don't. No.
Okay, I need you to get your.
No, I won't.
Ma'am, I need you to leave.
It's my right to be here.
You need to back up out of the
I
way.
will not.
One of our cars as well. You were too close right now. You
No,
were
it's okay.
interfering.
I'm right here.
Federal
You're
investigation.
gonna get out of my face.
You need
I'm
to
a
back up
public
over
citizen.
here.
No, I won't. Tell me
You need
why
to
I'm
back up
far
this
enough
way.
away from your
You need to
investigation.
back up this way. Step beyond our cars.
Don't touch me, please.
We have somebody
Don't.
cars.
Where's your cars?
Right here.
Where's
You
your
need to go
cars?
all the way
Oh,
this
that's great.
Keep going. Go all the way
That's
this
great.
way.
Sure. Beyond your cars. 20 feet, right?
See that white car?
I have a 6-year-old right here. I have a 6-year-old right here in my car.
Child in the car?
Oh, yeah,
child
sure
endangerment.
did. Yes, child endangerment.
Get your child off of the scene. This is an active police scene.
It's an
This is all on camera.
Can you hear the shock in that agent's voice? She said,
Well, yes, I can hear the shock in that agent's voice because actually it wasn't shock. He was actually warming up his computer to file charges on this woman. That's what was really going on.
Yes.
Honestly, he should have done it.
He didn't.
I know he didn't.
Okay.
Should have.
She was just defiant and obstinate and not going to back up. It was her God-given right to be there. And then she brought her baby, and when she got a little bit of criticism, do you know I have a baby here? What the hell are you doing, woman? You're bringing your baby there, and then you're using that as an excuse to stay in a dangerous situation.
No,
and then
Steve.
not follow orders. You
Steve.
are, damn it.
No, I think I know what this is about. I think I know what this is about. The left has been trying to use Renee Good as a George Floyd-like trigger to convince people to turn on ICE. There was another picture that they were trying to get go viral of ICE pulling a woman out of her car, and she's got this terrified look on her face, and they're trying to say, see, ICE is scary and you should hate them. I think they're putting these children in the way so that they can get the video of ICE attacking a child, and then they can see.
Women don't give a most women don't really give a shit about their children. Just freaking props.
They're props.
So,
But this fits with that large language model of the world. And now, here's the thing. They actually know that consequences could happen to the children, but it's theoretical. It's like, my kid will survive it, but I'll be able to sue ICE for millions, and we'll be able to make all this video and content about how evil is, and we will use this to push our color revolution forward. Like that. They're thinking about it in terms of how they've been programmed. They're not thinking about it in terms of, yeah, my kid might actually die. Whether or not they care is an open question, because LLMs don't care about anything. But I honestly think that the reason that they're pushing kids into this is because they're looking yes, they're using their kids as human shields. Absolutely. And by the way, that when you do that, it is one of the things in the Geneva Convention where if you intentionally use your kids as human shields, you are the person who shoots you is no longer guilty of a crime under the Geneva Convention because you put that kid there first. This was a huge thing back in the early days of the Iraq War. I think that this is what they're trying to do. They want an ICE to shoot them.
Okay, fine. You know what that police officer told her? Your 6-year-old needs to be in a booster seat by law. You know where that 6-year-old was? Sitting in the front seat, unbuckled, or just sitting in the seat.
Look, kids used to just sit in cars
Seriously?
every
Come
which way.
on.
Nah,
I
I
what
don't really care.
kind of shit for
Yeah.
brains obstinate woman is this? Would you want to
Yeah,
wife up
probably-
a woman like that?
No.
Okay,
No.
if all the young women have this attitude, can you blame the men for avoiding them?
No.
I think the men aren't wrong to be walking away from this and avoiding them. But when that child, whatever child eventually gets shot because of these demons, we do need to stand up and say that child got shot because you put them there, not because ICE is evil. Okay. If we don't push this back on the women on this particular one, they will run us over. They will get ICE defunded. We will be run over by infinity immigrants. They will control politics forever. So this is one where, guys, I get it. You want to stay silent on this, but this one, no, you can't.
Suicidal empathy.
Yeah.
Who?
It's a
Okay, this
suicidal.
woman that was killed, Renee Good. Who was she? What do you know about her?
She used to be a Christian, then she went nuts.
Okay, how old was she?
I don't even know.
37.
Probably late 20s. Oh, 37. Okay.
Yeah, late 30s.
Did she have kids?
Yes.
Yes.
By one man or by two?
If you have to ask, it's two.
Two.
But it gets better, Steve.
When it came out, she was divorced at some time, had a kid there. Then she got with another man. I think she was married a second time, and he died. I think she had a kid there. I think she has 3 kids, 2 or 3. And he died. And she's got cute pictures, pretty cute pictures from younger.
Yeah.
But when she died, her wife was crying. What?
You mean
her wife was?
You mean her lesbian lover who incited
she
her
was
to
Lebanese. She was a white Lebanese woman.
Abomination.
Well, wait, I mean lesbian.
Abomination.
White Lebanese, clever stuff.
So, men, masculine men, are going to come out to protest a woman who chose to divorce her first husband, then claimed victimhood status, and maybe whatever happened to her second husband, and then became a lesbian. Oh, yeah, I'm going to come out and protest against this woman dying because she did something really, really, really stupid and put herself in danger and then acted in some kind of aggressive way, or at least with rampant stupidity. Oh, yeah, I'm going to come out and protest this. I think I got better things to do.
Tacticus, you're kind of right here. We've made this temporary insanity claim so popular, and honestly, and we talk about female insanity so much in the red pill. that we've kind of given them a little bit of cover to do this. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about an insanity defense.
Is that which time of month is that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing about an insanity defense is there's so much video of these women being absolutely sane, because if you claim insanity, then at the time you're doing what it is you're doing, you have to discredit what you were doing at the time you were doing it. That's basically what you're saying. You're saying discount everything I was doing at the time because I was insane. And so again, the guys are going to have to stand up and say, no, she wasn't insane. She was clear-minded when she brought her kid to this protest, hoping to get it shot for the cause. Right? That's what you have to do. You have to do a whole arms around, look at the entire picture and say, no, you don't get to claim insanity. You knew what you were doing. We have video of you operating with clear mind, and you committed that's voluntary. It's voluntary manslaughter. It's I don't know if it's felony murder. That will depend on the individual state, and I don't know Minnesota law. But like these, they can try. We can't let them, and they will try. The DAs will.
The other guy. Look what they did the George Floyd guy, Derek Chauvin or
Yeah.
Chauvin. I can't. That guy
Exactly.
is stuck because you can't get a federal pardon to get him out. Only way you can really get him out is some sort. I was discussing with a friend over the weekend is somehow get him on some sort of foreign prisoner exchange. But what country are we going to do that with?
None, because he's still a U.S. citizen with no other domicile to call to.
Right.
So, yeah, you can try the temporary insanity thing. That's up to us to say, no, that's not what happened here. Okay.
Well, I think it's I don't think the cop that shot her is really going to suffer major consequences. I
No.
don't think he's going to go to jail because
Oh.
Trump and the administration is kind of defending him. They'll get him out of there. I think in this one, Trump will give him a pardon. I think Minnesota is such a fucking disaster right now. The corruption runs so deep, and it's going to police officers. It's going to clerks in the courthouses. It's going to judges who have permitted or overlooked some of these things. I don't think it's possible to get justice in Minnesota. So I think in any case, there'll be a change of venue out of the state of Minnesota. And why do I have this feeling about Minnesota? Because I went through a custody battle with the judges over my kids 20 years ago. They didn't give a shit about anything. It was female judges. I was fucking railroaded. If Minnesota is this corrupt there, did it just come from nowhere? No, the corruption runs deep, and it's been there for a long time. At least the fertile ground for corruption and allowing stuff to happen. And, what's going on here? The women are protesting accountability of other people. Other people, Somalis, are grifting the system and getting benefits that they didn't earn. And women do not want them to suffer consequences, just like women have never wanted themselves to suffer consequences or other women to suffer consequences. Everybody gets benefits, and there should be no consequences for anybody.
I wonder why men are just walking away.
Yeah. What else can we do? This guy, everyone was trying to say, oh, he wasn't harmed. It came out today that he actually suffered internal bleeding and was in the hospital under surveillance for 48 hours. And there's a grainy angle that shows him being, this is at the start of the run. It actually shows his body being kicked away from the car. He got hit with that much force. Under Minnesota law, he should be, his use of force was justified, but the prosecutors will do what they are paid to do, which is to try to make an example out of him anyway. He does need to be pulled out of that state and placed somewhere else just so that the prosecutors can't go after him.
I have a video on my link of that new video, an angle of Minneapolis ice shooting. That's a very short video. We can watch that. It's like 2 or 3 minutes. It's not the one that you're mentioning, but it's his body cam or whatever.
All right. Is that the one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Video shared by Vice President J.D. Vance reveals a new angle of the shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good, the woman killed by an ICE officer on Wednesday. Now, a source says the new video comes from the ICE agent who fired the fatal shots.
Okay. I don't know if anyone can see the problem here that is confusing people. There are 2 police officers on this car. And it's not clear.
One by the door, one in front of the vehicle.
One in front of the car. Everyone is thinking that we're talking about the one by the door. And they're looking at him going, oh, well, nothing bad happened to him. Watch again.
7-year-old Renee Good, the woman.
See the first guy up here?
Killed by an ICE officer on Wednesday. Now,
did you see that? You see? Okay. You see where my cursor's pointing right here? When the car backs up, it reveals that there is a guy standing in front of the car. Okay. That's this foot you see right here.
Source says the new video comes from an ICE.
Yeah, I see him. Yep.
Yeah.
Briefly, but yeah, he's there.
Briefly, yes.
The new video comes from an ICE agent.
Did you see that hand come whipping around and see how he's got his hand out here?
Keep going because we get to see the video from his perspective.
Okay.
From the ICE agent who fired the fatal shots. His name is Jonathan Ross. And we want to show you the video in its entirety, but a warning, you might find it disturbing.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. It's okay. We don't change our plates every.
I want to point out something else. Note how happy she is to be here. It was actually this video was what inspired Devin to write his post about human LLMs. She is not thinking about consequences at all. She is thinking, as he says in the other post, about the pats on the head she's going to get from all of her programmers.
Every morning, just so you know, it'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later.
Okay, hold on, right there. Okay, that is the wife.
Correct. That's her.
Keep going.
To us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen. You want to come at us? I said go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out the car.
Oh! Did you hear that impact? And you see how his camera got flung around? This is a body camera that's worn on the chest. His whole chest got flung around like that.
So the wife was mouthing off, antagonizing just nasty. And then did you hear all the beeps?
Yeah.
That was aggressive behavior. What the hell? Men do not provoke that way. That was provocative language.
No.
And then she gets in the car and Renee hits the gas and runs over the guy. Or attempts to.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
These people are nuts. So it reminds me when I recorded the police invading the church and had guns drawn on me. And I was like, "What? I don't understand what you guys are here for." And they're like shrieking and screaming, female officer. I'm just trying to calm them down. I'm like, "Look, you don't have to yell. Let's calm down." Opposite here, just antagonizing. When somebody has force pulled on you, you don't antagonize. Just stupid.
Well, again, there was nothing in this woman's mind that said, these are police with firearms. They might shoot me if I try this, if I do this. There was just nothing there. It's not that it didn't occur to her. It's that it could not occur to her.
Yeah, compare this to Nick's situation. Nick, those men had guns. How much mouthing off were you doing to them?
I'm just saying I don't understand what's going on. Officer, I don't understand. Why are you here?
Were you making any aggressive moves?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Was she making an aggressive move? Is a 3 to 4,000, probably a 4,000-pound vehicle? Is it a weapon?
Yeah, it's a weapon.
Yeah, vehicles are all automatically considered weapons under law because of their mass. So yes, a vehicle is a weapon, period. It's actually one of the charges they'll stack on to you if you kill somebody on the freeway and they think you were trying. They have evidence you were trying. They'll add that. But again, it does not occur to her to think of her car that her car would be considered a weapon by the cops and that they might respond, because to her, well, it's my car. It's just a car, right? The word car is the only thing that rotates through her head. Oh, well, it's just a car. The idea that she could do severe damage with it cannot occur to her. She doesn't have an object model for take big heavy object, fling it at other object at 20 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour, and bad things will happen to car and thing car hits. Notice how what I had to do there was I had to go from, a verbal model of what car is, of, what car, point at car, that is car, to chain of events, to I had to build the object model or the world model of what would happen and how the object would interact with that world through time. She can't do that. And it's not because she's insane. It's because she was never, as we were talking about earlier with Steve, she was never forced to even try to think in terms of world object models. Just, she can't. It's not something that's available to her.
So here's one thing I've kind of been silently chuckling about. And I still can't help chuckling. These cops on a domestic violence call, they show up. And most oftentimes they arrest the man, even though it might be mutual. In my case, they didn't arrest me because I had scratches and blood on me. She had nothing. They arrested her, my first wife. She spent the night in jail. But then they didn't want to prosecute her. So, she assaulted me, but no one would press charges. I didn't. I was wanted charges pressed, but no, she was let go. No repercussions. So these guys show up, and the man is always bad, and the women never receives any consequences. So they promote this: no women have consequences or accountable for provoking a man or hurting a man or mutual violence. A man is always responsible. So these women become emboldened. Now, these guys, these cops, get to deal with all these feral women who've never been held to account and be responsible. Sometimes justice is humorous.
Yeah,
Well,
because or go ahead, Nick.
oh, this is the model. Why would they focus on this person? The it's exactly as Steve was alluding to. Now that the police have this thrown in their face, I'm sorry that, they didn't deserve what happened to them. Even I'm not always on the police's side. I'm on their side on this instance, but for the ICE, I'm not always on law enforcement's side. But
oh yeah, I am on his side.
sometimes
But
you're
the
right.
point
But
is, he's
they're
got
right this time.
hundreds of feral women out running
Right.
around in his face, telling him what to do, not obeying their orders, and instigating violence and taunting and all this. All these feral women. Now the cops have to deal with these feral women because the cops
And
kind of enabled these women to be
Yep.
feral by arresting all the men who were somewhat trying to put boundaries on women.
And now the irony
Maybe.
is the media, in large part, is assuming the woman's just this innocent creature, right? Making her out to be this martyr. I'm like, huh. Funny how that works, doesn't it? Police or ICE or whoever law enforcement it is. Yeah, I'm sorry that you had to go through this, but this is what men also have to deal with is the women have, she actually had consequences, at least for life. But still, they're taking that idea that women should face no consequences. They're all these innocent people because that's the narrative. That's the common narrative out there, and the media have latched on to that. I
So,
guarantee you, if this was a
Well, hey,
white man
Nick.
that did this, would it be this story? No.
Hey, Nick. I don't know. Maybe this resonates with you, but I saw a post on Twitter. Maybe it was yesterday. Some guy said he's because it was not red pill, but it was somebody who's talked about stuff like that before, and he was like, "Yeah, you don't understand. You got the entire right. You the leftist got the entire right to start backing the police who have been crushing our heels for." Or crushing us under their heels for 10, 15, 20 years. And it's like, do you realize what you've done?
So the title of this was Feral Women, Reflective Men. The women are feral, and they're out in force. Oh, they got some simps with them. The men are reflective. They're just sitting back, thinking, watching this. They're not participating. They're not doing anything. They're not really even coming out to defend the cops. Oh yeah, you guys, rah rah, you were wronged here. I feel for you, but I'm not doing anything about it. Remember, I did this show on the color of law enforcement.
The second one we ever did.
About how these men who have been assumed to be guilty by law enforcement and arrested whenever there's a tiff between a man and a woman, the man is bad. Yeah. now all of us guys are out here. We're seeing you cops have to deal with these feral women. We're just sitting back and reflecting. Now, in general, society work because one man can deal with one woman. And you need a whole bunch of society-wide. You need all the men to each deal with one woman to rule over one woman. Hey, the Bible says so. Genesis 3:16 says that. You have prevented that. You have been a participant in preventing that from happening. And now this is where we're at. So, oh, no, I can't do anything to help you out because it's against the law to, restrain or put boundaries on a woman. So now all you law enforcement guys, damn, it sucks to be you.
Any other videos you want to do, Steve?
Well, if you want to keep going a little bit longer, the one let's see. Is that one in here? Oh, let's listen to a little bit of Aaron Clary. Minnesota is exactly the way the media portrays it, starting at 30
Not
minutes.
a fan of Minnesota. He lived there too.
Yeah. We'll get some entertainment at the end.
I'm always down for some Aaron Clary.
You're defending some. Go look at the criminal record of some of these people they're trying to arrest. Lady, you're defending some of the most horrible people. They don't care. I don't know why. I don't know why they love socialism, this weird variant of socialism, and they have self-loathing more than they love their own children, their family, community, and state. I don't know, and I don't care. It's not my problem. You guys deal with it. I already talked about the schools. If you are looking, I'm trying to prevent a lot of people from outside Minnesota to not cross the event horizon of Minnesota where you never escape. Because once you get in, it's really hard to generate the income you need to escape out of it. But if you are a hardworking man or woman and you get a job offer in Minnesota, do not take it. Do not take it. And the way they're going to try and brainwash you and say, come on in, we got great school. No, they have socialist schools who are not. At one time, they did teach reading, writing, and arithmetic plus socialism. Now it's just socialism. Hey, kids, cut your junk off. You do not want to become part of the school system here. And you sure the fuck don't want to become this nightmare of the leftist suburbs where it's soccer mom central and girl boss central and Heathers and Mean Girls and popularity and McMansions and boat loans and, oh, we're in a really good school district and, oh, you better be in the HOAs. Oh, my fucking God, no. So the schools are not that good. Well, no, they're outright horrible. You might as well just keep your kid home and have them learn on YouTube. Legit. Taxes are incredibly high. Not just because they have a generous welfare state, but depending on, I'd have to do a little bit more research, but some real quick back in napkin economics, the fraud alone with the Leering Center and Medicaid, Medicare fraud depends on how many years it was spread over. But Minnesotans are looking between a 3% and a 4% added tax. If you come here, that's just the fraud. The fraud, it's a big instance, but the fraud alone. This does not factor in the city of Minneapolis paying walk ambassadors $100,000. That's almost 20 years ago. This does not include the city of St. Paul paying out their Democrat buddies through nonprofits to not solve a problem. Right? But you are looking at just this fraud alone cost everyone's income tax went up 3% because of this fraud. Around there, plus or minus. Depends on the scope of fraud. It could be more. So you got your federal taxes roughly around 22%. You got state and local roughly around 15%. Minnesotans paid another 3% for just this one instance of fraud alone. Then you throw in all the, by the way, it's not a surprise that people from out of state are leading Minnesota because, like, how much money can we get from these dopey people that keep phoning? It's just too good for the children, don't you know?
Don't you know?
Yes, and the number of nonprofits, the number of government-funded nonprofits, and it never goes to the children or anything. It goes to the pockets of other people's buddies who are connected. Go look up the Walk Ambassadors of Minneapolis. That's it. I remember even before I was in my 20s still. There's this piece of shit cube art in the Rose Gardens in Minneapolis. It's over on the northeast side, Lake Calhoun. Have them look it up. And I contacted the city. I'm like, how much did that cost? They're like, oh, that was $60,000. You know what? Whoever it was, fuck you. You're this connected piece of shit, boomer, nepotistic fuck who had connections at the city. You're some washed up, thrice divorced woman probably who made this shit cube art. And then the city says, well, whoop, this is beautiful. Here's $60,000, Gretchen. Some fucking boomer name. I don't know. Dude, that's just gotten worse since. And you could say, hey, you could be a Democrat, right? This is where you Democrats get to think about it. Hey, wouldn't that money go to help some actual poor people in Minnesota? No. I also did the math. And depending on the scope, right? If it's $9 billion, if it was $9 billion, that would lower all the student loan balance of Minnesotans, just Minnesotans. So you took the total student loan balance of Minnesotans, that would lower their balances by a third. And if it ends up being closer to 18 billion, it's 2/3, obviously. Do you think Minnesotan kids, young people like that, could use some help with the student? No, it's more important that you run the Leering Center and Virtue Signal. Oh my God, we love Somalis and Latinos and Italians or maybe less of them because they're kind of white. There's rules. If they're Southern Italian, then they're more Mediterranean. We'll go along with that because I need a Virtue Signal on my social media. Yeah, what about your fucking kids? Well, they have privilege. No, they got $60,000 of student loan debt. What about the actual poor Minnesotans, by the way, who probably could have used some of that money? What if you just built some? How much would $18 billion? Well, we don't know if it's 9 or 18. Should we just call it what's in the middle? 9, 18, that's 27, 12, 13. 13 billion, 13 billion. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 divided by $300,000 house. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. How many houses could we have built in Minnesota? 43,000 units of housing you could have built with all that fraud. I wonder if that might have actually helped some poor people in Minnesota. I'm not a Democrat, just pointing out you could have helped out a lot of people.
Okay.
You shut down the fraud. Oh, and then
hold on. Did you see what he did here? He talked through this. And he had numbers. And then he did some quick math to bring it into he did some previous math, what it would mean for every student loans. Okay. That's benefits to everybody who owns student loans, if it had all gone there. And then he said, well, instead of that, we'll take it and we'll put it into housing. 43,000 houses. So all these women who are virtue signaling about these poor Somalis don't give a shit about their own. They don't see the
Exactly.
cost to themselves economically, or the cost to other poor people, or the reason that housing prices are so high, or poor people can't afford homes, or, oh, gee, birth rate is down because, yeah, people can't afford houses. And this is holding everybody back. You dumb cunts. I'm just going to say that. You don't realize how this shit, the people that you're bleeding and so sorry for, are actually hurting you. Not, never mind the fact that the overall crime rate is higher in Minnesota because of all the corruption and the drugs and all the crap that comes with it. Are you stupid?
No, they're not.
Guess
No,
what? I don't think women should be in charge. I don't think
And
we should
especially
listen to
boomers.
what women say.
This is what it is. They hate their own people.
Yes.
Their children are just props and they hate their own people.
It's not stupidity when it's intentional. Even if they don't understand the long-term consequence, even if they don't understand the consequences of what they're doing, it's not stupid, it's intentional. Reminded of a line from The Big Short. Show me the difference between show me the difference between fraud and something, and I'll get my brother-in-law arrested. I'm butchering the quote, but it's like or stupidity. It was show me the difference between stupidity and fraud, and I'll have my brother-in-law arrested. Right. Fraud itself is not inherently stupid. If the system is fraudulent, the smart thing to do is to steal from the system. Now, there's a caveat here. If the fraud is intentional, if it's designed that way, like our current system is, because there's something else I want to say next to that. Currently, we treat fraud as this Bernie Madoff white collar scam or white collar problem that you go to Club Fed for a couple of years, you get the nice jail, with the the white glove treatment and all that. Okay. But what Cappy's pointing out here is that there were tens of thousands of people who were directly harmed by this fraud in ways that we cannot even begin to fully comprehend. The damage that was done to the people who were stolen from may well include the increased self-deletion rates that we see in certain populations of men, veterans, younger men, etc. Right? Because of the fraud, they were not able to achieve the basic the basics of life, and they felt like they were failures when in fact they were being stolen from and didn't know it. And so,
hey, that's all true, but that's indirect. Directly, all this fraud was millions of dollars, and it went into illegal activities, including a vast drug smuggling network.
Yeah.
That brought cocaine, meth, and fentanyl into your local communities. And it was peddled at the schools. And it got your kids addicted to fentanyl and meth. And it destroyed their lives. And thousands of people died because of this. Because it doesn't just stay corruption here and all the money just goes to Somalia. No, it came back and did evil in your community. people died. And now you're out protesting because of these poor people who, oh, we can't deport them. Damn right. We need to deport them. They're doing evil. They're a blight on our society. And they're hurting our society and they're hurting your children.
We need to start treating fraud as if it is felony murder. You're not going to Club Fed for a couple of years. You're going to a Supermax and we'll decide whether or not you get the chair later. Yes, Shu, that's correct. If you get enough of it on your skin, you'll die from it. It is just horrifically powerful stuff. But
China doesn't tolerate this shit. If you get guilty of egregious fraud or embezzlement or something, your time on this planet might be cut short. Just saying.
Yeah.
And has it been that way in the Western world in the past? Yeah.
Yes, it has actually.
200 years ago.
Yep.
Yes, it has.
The Brits were famous for deleting 1% to 2% of their population every year over crimes like theft and fraud. But what it did, and it was only recognizable after the fact, was it improved the intelligence of the populations of Britain and Germany and even France, although France didn't help themselves with all their revolutions, killing the smart people too, right? But particularly Britain, they got measurably smarter. It's called the Flynn effect, by the way. You guys can go look it up. But they got measurably smarter because they kept lopping off the worst 1% to 2% of their society. This works. And so that's why I'm saying, if you commit fraud, obviously, we don't have enough prisons to put everyone who commits any amount of fraud, but like the Somali scale fraud, deport who you can, the rest Supermax for the rest of their lives. You have to remove this from society or it will destroy your society. Period. End of discussion.
Okay, that sounds so mean.
I don't care.
It is. Okay.
I don't care.
Okay. Let's just accept that. But my conclusion is doing this is a matter of survival. It's necessary.
Like ending the family court system. It's for societal survival.
Correct.
Do it.
If we don't end family courts, the birth rates will stay low and eventually we will go extinct. Simple
Now,
as.
okay, let me just outline. If you eliminate family courts, are some women who legitimately are going to suffer and who need that? Are some innocent people going to suffer? Absolutely. Yes. Without a doubt. But a lot of innocent people will not have to suffer the consequences. That's what our justice system is based on. It's better that one guilty man to go free than 100 innocent men be convicted of a crime. That means, yeah, life sucks. You may not receive justice in this life. Well, certainly I know that because I'm one of the innocent that had to pay the price, as is Nick.
I know it too. Yep.
And I don't want a woman to have to suffer when, at the hands of a man, but at the same time, saving that one woman comes at a cost that destroys 100 families. We just can't afford to pay that price as a society.
We've tried for 50 years, roughly. it's been an abject failure. And sometimes you just have to recognize that you thought you had a good idea, you put it into practice, and you go, holy shit, that was a bad idea. And you know what you do when you do have the holy shit, that was a bad idea moment? You stop doing the thing. We are past the point where we need to stop doing the thing. So let's stop doing the thing, guys.
That's the thing we're going to stop doing.
Well, there's a lot of individual things, but the overarching thing is we are going to stop supporting. We are going to stop believing women. We're going to stop supporting women. We're going to stop giving women power. It's the only way. There's lots of individual things you have to do to make that happen underneath, but at the end of the day,
the idea of suicidal empathy.
Yeah.
And it goes for like immigration, women, all sorts of things. We can probably have a list. I know Gad Saw just came up with a book on that, so I haven't read it yet.
We are advocating here. Won't sit well with a lot of people. We don't have a lot of viewers. So probably not that many people who disagree with us will watch this. But if you do, by all means, disagree and propose a different solution. Don't just agree and attack us, because that means you're stupid. Come up with a better solution, because I would welcome a better solution. I just can't think of one. Now, maybe you're smarter than me, and you can come up with a solution that actually would work. And let's try it. Well, I'll even give you 5-10 years to try it, and I'll advocate for you. But at the end of that 5 to 10 years, if it doesn't work, we have to use my solution.
Well, okay. There is something I want to say about that. There's a caveat here to what Steve's saying. First, before we try your solution, we're going to attack your solution. We're going to try and pull it apart. We're going to try and see what the problems are. Because A, that's how men should do things. But also because the hour is late. And we are not gifted with infinite amounts of time to try things that don't work. So you need to not just come up with a solution, you need to be ready to defend it to men who have thought about these things for a long time. And we have our solutions we like. If you think you can do better, well, pull up. Andrew, this is a good question. Where's the tipping point of where the will to retake power from women exceeds the tolerance of utter destruction of everything? Well, obviously, it goes without saying, we aren't there yet. The tipping point is way further down the road than we all want to think it is. And again, we've talked about civil war and how we really don't think that civil war is like lining up on battlefields and shooting each other is going to be what we do. But there has not been nearly enough real world consequence for women to start being displaced. The women need to make many more and more egregious mistakes and fail more.
It has gone so far. The pendulum swings. We are so far in one area. Women think they are bulletproof.
Yeah.
But just a Renee Good thing. There are no consequences. She can do anything. And then when she's confronted, there's a cop standing in front of her and one by the window, she can just drive out of there and go away, move away. There are no consequences. So I'll tell you when the tipping point happens, when women are shivering from the cold and starving.
Mm-hmm.
They nothing to heat their home, no food to eat. It's going to go that far before they have the humility to surrender to male authority again.
Yeah, so Andrew, you're saying retake power from women. I'm not seeing any particular desire for men right now to retake power. And I think that stems from a fact that the men kind of just want to let women marinate in the consequences of their actions.
Men won't retake power. Women will surrender the power to men.
Yeah. Well, and the best way to convince somebody to surrender. Now, people will say, "Oh no, a woman these women will, they will just, in order to keep their ideology intact, they'll just stay out on the streets." Yeah, a few of them will, but most of them won't. Women are just not built like that way in general. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Isaiah 4:1 happens because women aren't built that way. They go to the men and beg and plead. Right, Nick? Right,
Yep.
Right, yeah. Women aren't built that way. So, yeah, some of them will stay out on the streets for the ideology, but most won't. And I think that men intuitively recognize that. And that's why the answer hasn't been a hard power coup. It's been okay, women, you think you can do this? Bet. We'll be over here watching, reflecting, as Steve would say. And don't expect a bailout when your time comes.
It's simple. What's required? Humility. What brings about humility? Humiliation.
Correct. Ooh.
And men, just sit back. Don't worry about it. Just live your life. Survive. If you have no one, okay, you're not married. You're not accountable to a woman. You are not required to save a woman. You're not required to do anything. If they want to be a boss babe, they want to be defiant and obstinate and go out and protest and whatever, just chill.
Let them do it.
Let them do it. And, she doesn't have enough humility to interest me? Yeah, it should be that way. You want a woman with a bit of humility. Otherwise, she will never listen to what you say. And if you have a rebellious person in your house, you're putting yourself in danger. So just chill out. Just watch, stand back, and let whatever happens, happens. And God will bring about the humiliation of women. And then they will get some humility. They might actually be attractive once they have a bit of humility.
I don't know. None of the women in any of the videos we watched tonight or anything. I don't think humility could fix that. Tactics has a great point here. And this is a point that men need to hear. Great distinction. Surrender of a feral woman is defiant and they plot escape endlessly, but submission is not the same. Just because these women surrender does not mean that they will turn around and become docile, submissive, purring kittens for men. No. They will. What, Nick?
I said, no, they will not.
Right. Yes, they will they will be forced into giving up grudgingly, and they will hate it. I've been thinking about this. What I think we actually need to do, men, and you're starting to see some of this in certain locations. We need to start building commie blocks for old, used up feral women. The people you saw in the videos tonight. We should not demand that men step in to take care of them, personally. That a man should never put your personal health and wealth on the line for any of these women ever. They must remain single. It is a moral good for them to remain single. We can put them up in cheap commie block style apartments, throw food at them. Yes, it's one step above a prison, and they don't even deserve that. But that's the level that they need to be treated with.
Oh, but they would serve such a good by doing that. Because they'd be an example to the young women.
Yes. Now, they would not agree with you on this, of course, but right, this is how you make an example. This is the old proverbial putting the head on a pike, and for the next 7 generations to see what happens when you do what they did. That's what we have to do. So this is me looking forward to, after the crisis, after the great crucible we are going to go through, and saying, how do we handle what comes after? We build commie block apartments for these used up slores that are never going to be, and we tell men, and in fact, I would even go so far as to they should be banned from all forms of marriage and welfare. They will have to work. They will have to work menial labor, and they will get no state. We're going to have to go in, and we're going to have to do some things that are very anti-libertarian. And as a guy with a libertarian heart, that bothers me, but we have to make an example of this behavior.
So, can I propose 2 rules for your commie blocks?
Sure.
I want to make them alcohol-free zones.
Absolutely.
So there's no box wine.
Okay.
And I want to say no pets, so there can be no cats in there.
The commie blocks would reek of alcohol and ammonia if we didn't make those rules. It's so true. Oh, this is going to be a clippable episode. Elena, have fun with this one. Is that all we have for this evening, Steve? I don't see any more videos.
I think so. I've had fun tonight, and hey, we might seem like we're really out there, but I'll guarantee that the majority of men in the world are actually thinking kind of like we're thinking right here, and we've been talking about.
On some of this stuff, honestly, I think a lot of the men right now aren't where we are. Give them 5 years. They'll get there. 2029 cometh.
Gen Z might pretty much agree. A lot of them.
I don't know if they go quite as far as we did tonight.
Oh, some might go further. I know some that might go further.
That's true. That's true. But the world needs to prepare itself for a world where men are not just disinterested outside observers, because eventually the men will have to come in and start picking up the world. And when they do that, well, it's not that we have a long memory, although we do. It's that when men start picking up the pieces of the world, we do things that are designed to actually solve the problem. At least the real men do. I can point to some names who I do not consider real men because they're desperately trying to not solve problems. But that's a different stream for a different day. So I think we have covered this. Any final words, gentlemen?
No.
I'm good.
All right. Well, again, we have no idea what we're doing next week. We'll probably figure
But
something
it won't
out.
be me.
Yeah, it won't be Steve. We should.
It might be me.
Yeah, we should elbow Nick a little bit, see what he's been working on lately. So you'll probably get Nick next week. I am still working away on the geopolitical stuff. There's a lot that's going to go into this one. And this week I'm getting crushed under work. Stuff breaking.
H-1Bs didn't ban India.
I know. I oh man, I have been all over that one today. So yeah, if you guys liked what you heard, drop us a subscribe. But if you know men who need to hear what we said tonight, and there are things we said tonight that is actionable advice for men, please share this video with them. Yeah, I know it's 2.5 hours long. Yeah, but yes, Shu, we are overdue for a Pastor Nick rant. I do agree. We need to get one of those in there. So Nick, you're probably up next week. So
I might do some Googe, William Googe.
Okay.
I might do some things.
Sounds good.
Sounds
some
great.
Back to the Past, and you'd be like, wait a minute, he knew this back then? Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, and other than that, we'll see you next week.
All right.
Later.
Bye.
Later.
There was a firefight! Fucking